paper snob. This is Tara. Today I am working on Scraplift Crafternoon with my friends. Each week we pick somebody from the scrapbooking community, either from YouTube or Instagram, and we scraplift them. We try to pick people who have very low subscribers or followers so that we can help them build their channels while building our very own channels. Sometimes we pick somebody from Pinterest who doesn't have Instagram or YouTube, and we will go ahead and give them some love on their Pinterest accounts. This week, we're doing something a little bit different. It is our friend Kimberly from I'd Rather Be Scrapbooking's birthday. And on the birthday month of our members, we try to scraplift one of their layouts. And we have chosen this layout up here in the corner to scraplift this week. It is a beautiful, bright layout. And because of its brightness, I chose to continue working with my August counterfeit kit, which is full of Vicki Boutin Collections Color Study and Sweet Rush. And so this is the stuff that I pulled out. I am trying desperately to use up some scraps from it so that I can not put away scraps this time after pulling this collection. I have used these collections before, and I had quite a few scraps to begin with when I started in August, and I've got a lot more going on. So I pulled all of these branding strips plus a few minor scraps, like this is a scrap. And this is actually a scrap attached to a branding strip. And those are what I'm going to be trying to use on this layout to get those beautiful strips that she has up in her layout. There's a tag in her layout, so I pulled my Hip Kit nested tag and label die set. I'm going to die cut with this piece of pattern paper. Here's some scraps. I went ahead and I cut down 1/4 inch off this side and this side of this white cardstock because her layout is matted on a piece of pattern paper. And I am going to mat it on this layout or on this pattern paper like this because it has a lot of the colors in it, and I can go ahead and pull out all of those colors in that background to try to tie my layout together with the colors. I have this photo of my family and I at the Smithsonian Natural History Museum, some fussy cut flowers, some stickers that I pulled from the sticker sheets, a couple pieces of ephemera. And so I think I'm ready to get started. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this video. I'm going to fast forward it and we're going to get going. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and adhere my white background to my cut apart sheet that I mentioned in my intro. I'm going to get that adhered so that we can go ahead and start building this layout. Off camera, I went ahead and cut down that cloudy background pattern paper and used my notebook punch to go ahead and get it ready to go onto the layout. Now I'm going to begin trimming some of these strips of paper down just a little bit. I'm going to cut this one down twice. I'm going to make it, I think it's 1.5 inches by 11 is what I believe that I cut those strips. And I'm going to flip it over and cut 1 inch with the back side of it and cut it down to 11 inches as well. And so next, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and cut down every border strip down to 11 inches so that they're just ready for me to adhere to the layout. Now that I got that part done, I am ready to start putting things on the actual layout. You can see I've got my big photo mat prepared, and so now I'm just going to start laying out these border strips, and I'm going to stagger them just like Kimberly did. This one's going to be higher on the page than the next one will be lower, and so on until I get them all the way across. Now originally I thought that I might cut these in half so that I didn't have the bulk behind that large mat, and then I decided that was way too much work, so I just glued them on whole. Any of the border strips that I decided not to use, they will actually end up on the trash can because I'm done hoarding these strips. I am going to use what I can here and get them onto the page, but for the most part I am trying to put away this August kit so that I can move on to my September kit. I did notice that Kimberly left space between some of her border strips and I didn't, and that was kind of intentional. I am going to tell you it took every fiber of my being to not hand stitch on these strips. I really wanted to. I didn't though. You should be proud. I stopped, and it was just a time thing for the most part. I'm trying to prepare for my trip to We Create in Missouri, which starts September 8th, and we leave a couple of days beforehand, and I'm trying to get these videos up and scheduled so that I'm not worrying about my channel while I'm gone at this wonderful retreat that I can't wait to go to. Anyway, so I am still putting these strips on here, and I know I stop here pretty soon. I'm just kind of guesstimating at how many she put on hers. I know I counted them in the beginning and then realized that I had way more strips than she did, and so I just decided to stop where it looked like it stopped on her layout. Next, I'm going to go ahead and trim down this piece of scrap, and I think I trimmed it down to 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 so that I could use my photo. I think my photo is also a little bit larger than hers, which is okay, but I didn't want to cut anybody out of the photo either, and I honestly didn't feel like reprinting it because I'd already printed it twice. The first time it didn't print correctly, the second time it printed fine, and I just wasn't going to mess with it anymore. So now I'm going to go ahead and get these photo mats adhered down on the page. Now I do move them a couple of times because I don't get them quite where I need them to be, and I have to tuck things underneath them, and so I end up having to move them just a little bit. So I did take some time off camera and I cut my tag out of that scrap of pattern paper that I showed you, and I pulled out more embellishments that I thought I would use, stickers, and so I put those on waxed paper so that I could kind of guess at what was going to go where. And here's where you're seeing that I have to move my photo and do some major tucking here so that I can get all of these pieces going down this left side of the layout and still be able to see the phrases on those pieces of ephemera. So I thought that blue camera was a great addition to my August counterfeit kit. It's Maggie Holmes, but it most certainly matches the collections from Vicki Boutin very well. Now I'm just digging through all of my fussy cut flowers and trying to find ones that are the right size and that will go well on this layout. I kind of play around back and forth with them just a little bit before making final decisions. At this point, I'm pretty happy with my floral choices, and so I'm just going to kind of leave them there, and I'm going to start adding some more things. So you can see that I just pulled that floral sticker down from, or off the wax paper, and put it down there in the lower right hand side. Now I'm going to take these little branches from the Maggie Home sticker sheet, and I'm just going to start tucking them behind those flowers. I'm trying desperately to use those this month, and I haven't had the opportunity to use them yet, so I'm making sure I get them on this layout. I think I get them all on there except for the one that is left on the waxed paper. Now I'm kind of digging through my title bits, and I wanted to use the word explore because we were at a museum. Explore is too long, and so I ended up not using that. I put a phrase sticker down, I put a chipboard heart down, and now I'm just going to start adding these little bitty butterflies off this sticker sheet. And then I decide I'm going to move that floral sticker and put some of the fussy cut stickers behind it. Everything's going to end up on fun foam eventually, so nothing is exactly where it's going to get placed because, you know, you take things off and it eventually moves just a little bit. I found a pink flower to add to that top right hand side. Like I said, I'm deciding on the little butterflies right now that are going to end up on the layout. So I also added this Paige Evans set of puffy phrases to my August counterfeit kit, and this is what I'm gonna go ahead and end up using for my title because they are smaller, and my title is going to end up saying something like "Stay Curious." Now I struggle with these letters every time I get them out to use them. One, they're a pain in the neck, they don't like to stay. Two, they're not level, and so the bottoms aren't level, and I end up having trouble with them being crooked, and that makes me crazy. Anyway, I get it on here, and then off camera I will get them glued down properly. As my final touch, I'm going to go ahead and add some of these white linen splatters all over my embellishment clusters just to give it a little bit more pop. I really like how the white splatters just give it a little texture and add just a little bit of fun to the layout. Alright, I got this layout completely finished. I did put some splatters on as a finishing touch. I popped up a lot of the stickers and things with fun foam or other types of foam adhesive. Mostly I tried to stay as true to Kimberly's original layout as possible. I did add some journaling and a date down here at the bottom, but otherwise I think you can see where I took inspiration from with Kimberly's layout. Kimberly, I hope that you have a wonderful birthday. We love having you tagging along with us during our Scraplift Crafternoons and helping us choose layouts, and we just love our friendship with you. Have a great day. Bye.